Hey everyone, I'm Aaron. I help lead at the PAC in the eastern suburbs. I go to church at St Aidan's in Miramar, and I also live out there in one of the AWAME houses. So I have a little story to tell you. So I've always known who Jesus was. I grew up in a Christian family. I always knew who he was, but I didn't really feel the presence of God and have one of those Holy Spirit moments until I was about 11. So I was at Cutting Edge at New Wine. I was at our rancho. It was great. And I just remember it was an evening service. It was kind of, after all the songs, we just kind of got that lull with the little pianos in the background and so on, like we're playing a guitar. And I remember standing there, putting my hands out and saying, "Come, Holy Spirit," and waiting and having people pray for me and waiting. And then I felt the presence of the Holy Spirit, which to me felt like warmth and comfort. And I felt at peace and I felt loved. And I felt that kind of all around and just, really calming feeling, and I loved it, and it was a great experience, and I just wanted more of that. And so every camp I would go and I'd try and have one of these experiences again, and I most of the time I would, and it'd be awesome. And every time I'd say, I'm going to do something about it this year. This year will be the year where I go home and I pray in my spare time, and I get close to God, and I have these experiences, and I have a great relationship with God, and I just kind of never did that. And so I'd bounce from camp to camp throughout my time at youth group. I'd go to camp and I'd have that experience and then nothing, and experience and nothing. And the whole time in the back of my head, and kind of as I got older, I kept having this question, and the question was, how do I have these spirit-filled moments without the band, without the hype? How do I experience this love and this feeling away from big camps and big moments? And I wrestled with that for a long time, really struggled with that, and never really found a solution while I was at youth group or while I was kind of at home. And then I moved down to Christchurch for university and was still struggling with those questions. But then I met the chaplain at university, and he introduced me to something called centering prayer or contemplative prayer, which the first time I heard about it was a bit weird. So I go around to his house, he has these prayer gatherings on like a Tuesday at like 12. And we go there and he goes, "Okay, we're going to pray, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit down, we're not going to move. We're not going to say anything, and I don't want you to think anything." And I'm like, what am I meant to do? Like nothing? He goes, "Yeah, nothing. You're meant to sit there in the presence of God and just be." And I go, "Okay, well that's a little weird, but I'll try it, And I tried it, and I was bad at it, because you're sitting there. I want you to try and think of nothing right now. You're going, "Oh, am I doing it?" No, you're not. You sit there, and for another 5 minutes, you go, "Oh, I wonder if I'm doing it." No, I'm not doing it. So yeah, it was hard, and I didn't get much out of it the first few times. But as I went, I started to kind of get into the rhythm and started to enjoy it. And then it all came down to this one time. There was a retreat. And so it was a silent retreat. So we went away for 3 days and we said nothing. And we were in silence. We were encouraged to be by ourselves. And we were meant to just sit in the presence of God. And so on the Saturday evening, or Saturday afternoon, I was sitting outside, I was sitting in the sun, in silence, in solitude, and I felt the presence of God. And I had a spirit-filled moment where I felt that comfort, I felt that peace and that love that I'd always felt at those camps, that I'd always felt, with the big bands playing, with all the people around, with my hands out, and I felt the Holy Spirit come. And so looking back over those times, it wasn't the bands that made me get closer to God. It wasn't the music, it wasn't the lights, it wasn't the location, it was the fact that I was standing there with my hands out and saying, "Come, Holy Spirit." And so something that's really important to me in my journey in faith and with Jesus is finding those moments where I can sit in silence and where I can just sit in his presence and experience that again. And so the answer that I found to that question of where is a good place and how do I find God without the hype and without the music was to sit in silence and to sit in his presence and to wait. Thanks.